Welcome back to the deep dive. We've got some really fascinating material today, sent in by a listener.
Yeah, this looks interesting. It's called RevUp, Week 1, from one university, I think.
That's the one. And, okay, it's designed to kickstart a real estate career. Now, you might be listening and thinking, real estate, not for me.
Right, fair enough.
Yeah.
But maybe don't tune out just yet.
Exactly. Stick with us. Because our mission here is to, well, excavate the fundamental principles within this module. You know, the core strategies for building success, really, no matter what field you're in.
Yeah, think of it as a look at building a solid foundation. We're talking mindset, planning, time management.
And really running your work like a proper business, we're going to focus on pulling out those universal transferable skills.
Absolutely. This PDF, RevUp, Week 1, it's surprisingly rich with actionable stuff that goes way beyond just, buying and selling houses.
It really is about adopting that entrepreneurial approach, isn't it?
Totally. Implementing business fundamentals that just work, period. We're aiming to distill those key insights for you.
Okay, let's dive right into what this module says is absolutely foundational, and that's your mindset.
Right. They kick off with 3 key ingredients for success.
First one, a powerful work ethic. And they're clear. This isn't just about putting in the hours.
No, it's more than that. It's genuine diligence, right? The actual hard work, the self-discipline to stay on track.
Consistency, showing up day after day, sticking to a schedule.
That's such a crucial starting point. And what's interesting here, I think, is the shift they emphasize, thinking like a business owner.
Not just a salesperson or an employee.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about working on your business strategy, systems, planning, not just in it doing the daily tasks.
That consistency they mention, it's not just doing stuff, but doing the right stuff consistently, building those systems.
Yeah, think about the compounding effect.
Yeah.
Small improvements done consistently can lead to big results anywhere.
Absolutely. Okay, second key characteristic, unwavering perseverance.
This one's big.
Yeah, this really hit home for me. It's about commitment, taking accountability for your own results.
And being resourceful, finding ways around obstacles because they will come up.
They will. The module even quotes something like, people who persevere make no provision for anything but success. Success is the only option.
Wow. That's intense, but it speaks volumes, doesn't it?
It really does.
And that accountability piece?
Yeah.
You can't just brush past that, whether it's a partner, a mentor, a coach.
So I want to keep you honest.
Yeah, that external teching can be incredibly powerful. Keeps you on track, keeps you moving, and the module's right when you hit a wall, there's almost always another way.
You just have to be committed to finding it.
Exactly.
And the third mindset element is that positive make it happen attitude.
Right. They suggest your attitude could be like a huge chunk of your success, especially if you deal with clients or customers.
It's about the power of what you expect, right? And that internal self-talk, how it shapes how you approach things.
Yeah, that link between your inner dialogue and your outer results. It's so direct. Are you going into something expecting to win or sort of bracing for failure?
That inner voice really does shape your reality.
And they bring up a core idea. Clients first. It's not just being nice. It's presented as the bedrock for long-term success.
Because that leads to repeat business referral.
Exactly. So honesty, integrity, professionalism, they frame these as non-negotiable, must-haves.
They even have a practical do's and don'ts list. Simple stuff, but powerful, like do build trust.
Seems obvious, but easy to forget in the moment.
Don't make excuses, and a really big one, do listen to your clients. It all just boils down to taking ownership, doesn't it?
It really does. And then the module gets into some interesting techniques for actively cultivating that positive mindset.
Yeah, like creative visualization, mentally rehearsing success.
And using affirmations strategically.
Right. They give examples like, I'm the architect of my life, or money flows to me freely and easily.
Now, okay, that might sound a bit out there to some people.
Maybe a little.
But the core idea, consciously shaping your beliefs and expectations, that's powerful stuff, regardless of the exact wording.
Totally agree.
And the actionable insight here, for you listening, is maybe take a minute. Identify your own core beliefs, the helpful and the unhelpful ones, and maybe try crafting a few personal affirmations that really resonate with your goals.
Good advice. Okay, so moving on from mindset. The module then digs into setting the stage for success. And some of this is surprisingly relevant, even if you don't show houses all day.
Right, like turning your car into a mobile office.
Exactly.
What's interesting, there isn't just the real estate angle, it's the principle. Maximize productivity, minimize wasted time.
Have your tools organized, notes app, navigation ready, basic supplies.
It's about creating an efficient workspace wherever you happen to be so you can focus. And that suggestion about audiobooks or podcasts during commutes.
Yeah, perfect example of using downtime for growth.
Totally.
They also list essential equipment: laptop, good smartphone camera, name tag, business cards.
Which really just highlights presenting a professional image, doesn't it? That matters in pretty much any field.
Definitely. And recommending separate business bank accounts. That's just solid advice for anyone managing their own income and expenses. Basic business hygiene.
Absolutely. And yes, some specific marketing pieces they mentioned, like brochures or zip code charts, might be real estate specific.
But the underlying idea, having materials ready to show your value, that applies everywhere.
For sure.
Then there's this emphasis on understanding the MLS, the multiple listing service,
The agent database, yeah.
and previewing properties. Now, for those of us not in real estate, what's the parallel here?
It translates directly to deeply understanding your own industry or field.
Yeah.
Right. Know the trends, the highs, the lows, the key players, the market dynamics. Do your homework.
Your success depends on your domain knowledge.
Pretty much, yeah. Your depth of knowledge often correlates directly with your level of success. And while they talk about a personalized agent app.
Which is specific again.
Right. But the principle is leveraging tech to streamline things, make it easy for people to connect with you and what you offer.
Makes sense. Okay, so you've worked on the mindset, you've got your basic tools set up. The module then shifts to running your business like a business.
And this, I think, holds a really crucial message for everyone listening, whatever your job is.
What's the core message there?
It's this idea of beginning with the end in mind. Are you just focused on today's tasks, short-term wins?
Or are you thinking bigger, building something sustainable?
Yeah.
An asset?
Exactly. The module really stresses that real success needs more than just basic sales or technical skills. You need to understand the business side, the financial side.
Which points to the need for continuous learning, right? Professional development.
Absolutely. They emphasize comprehensive business training. If you want to grow, you got to keep learning.
And that flows perfectly into the next section. Goals, seeing the big picture.
And they introduced the classic SMART goal system. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, timely.
It's a classic for a reason. They break it down well. Like specific, not just be more successful, but maybe increase my client base 15% this quarter.
Right. And measurable asks, how will I know when I get there? How much? How many? What are the indicators?
Attainable keeps it grounded. Is this actually possible with my resources? Relevant asks, does this really align with my big goals, my values?
And timely, the deadline. So crucial. Without a time frame, goals just drift, don't they?
They really do. Then the module asks this great question, where are you now?
Yeah, the reality check.
Taking that honest look. Income, expenses, current productivity, where are opportunities coming from now? You need that baseline.
Exactly. You can't plot a course if you don't know your starting point. And they make a really valuable connection between those income goals and the actual actions needed.
Like calculating how many sales or projects you need based on your average revenue.
Connecting the money goal to the activity goal.
And then they get into calculating the value of your time, your effective hourly rate based on what you want to earn annually.
That can be a real eye-opener for people.
Oh, definitely.
It forces you to think, wow, is this task really worth my time? How am I allocating this finite resource?
And all this planning, this goal setting, it leads to needing a proper business plan.
Your roadmap. Breaking down the big goals into smaller, manageable steps.
Okay, so you've got these well-defined goals. The next question is, how do you actually make it happen day to day?
Execution time. And that's where time management comes in. They introduce time blocking.
Yeah, talk about that. What's the core idea?
It's pretty simple, really, but powerful. You schedule specific blocks of time for specific activities.
Like appointments in your calendar, but for tasks.
Exactly. And the key is prioritizing the important stuff, usually. The tasks that actually generate revenue or directly move you towards your main goals. It's about being proactive with your schedule, not just reactive.
And they make a distinction, right, between revenue-producing activities and supportive ones.
Yeah, that's crucial. Revenue producing is like talking directly to a potential client, closing a deal, work that directly leads to income or goal achievement.
Supportive is necessary admin, planning, Stuff that needs doing but doesn't directly bring in the cash.
Precisely. And the module pushes you to think, are you spending too much time on supportive tasks you could maybe delegate or streamline?
To free up time for the high-impact stuff.
Exactly.
They also tackle that idea that schedules kill freedom.
Right. Their argument is the opposite. Not having a schedule leads to chaos, wasted time, ultimately less freedom.
And I love their rule. If you erase, you must replace.
Yeah, that's about commitment, isn't it? If something unexpected bumps a scheduled block, you don't just forget it, you reschedule it immediately.
You protect that planned time.
You have to.
Yeah.
And effective time blocking isn't just for work. They suggest scheduling personal time, days off, even schedule that first.
Really? Why first?
The idea is if you lock in that balance, that time for rest and recharge, you'll actually be more focused and effective during your work blocks.
Makes sense. Burnout is real.
Totally. And ultimately, your time blocking should directly support your main goals. It all needs to connect.
And they mention this perfect week template.
Yeah, it's like an ideal blueprint. How you'd like your week to look if everything went perfectly.
Not a rigid cage, but a benchmark.
Exactly. Something to compare your actual week against, see where things drift, find areas to improve. It's a visual guide for how you want to allocate your time.
Okay, so you've got goals, you've time blocked, but how do you make sure you actually do it?
Accountability. The follow-through.
The module has that great line. Plan your work, work your plan. Simple, but effective.
And they frame accountability not as punishment, but as a tool for self-discipline.
Like guardrails on the road.
Perfect analogy. We're just more likely to do things when we know we're tracking it, or someone's checking in.
They really push finding accountability partners.
Someone you trust for honest feedback, someone who will help keep you focused. And they stress choosing the right partner.
Not just someone who'll let you off the hook.
Exactly. You need constructive criticism, support, not just someone nodding along.
And they introduce a tool, YMW, year, month, week.
Yeah, it's a simple way to break down those big yearly goals. What needs to happen this month to stay on track? Okay, what needs to happen this week?
Makes huge goals feel less overwhelming. Focus on the next step.
Precisely. And tracking progress is key too. Keeping tabs on your metrics.
Calls made, contacts, leads, appointments, the whole funnel.
Understanding your numbers, your conversion rates, which activities are actually working. You need that data.
And they also talk about coaching and mentors.
Yeah, both valuable. A coach gives structured guidance, goal setting, navigating challenges. A mentor offers wisdom from experience, practical insights from their own journey.
Different roles, but both super helpful.
Definitely.
Okay, then the module shifts to circles of opportunity. This sounds like it's about finding leads or clients.
Pretty much. Understanding where opportunities come from. They stress mastering the basics first.
Like what?
Building and actually using a contact database, your CRM. Having a social media presence. A plan for capturing leads when they come in. Get that foundation solid before chasing fancy tactics.
And they really emphasize personal connection.
Hugely. In-person phone calls, followed by a handwritten note card.
They get specific about the note cards, don't they?
Oh yeah. Blank card, personal message, colored ink, include your business card, hand address it, use an oversized stamp.
Wow. Why all that detail?
It's about standing out. Making it personal, memorable in a digital world.
Yeah.
Shows you actually took the time.
And the database, the CRM, they say it's mandatory.
Essentially, yeah. They point out that top performers often get a huge chunk of their business just from consistently working their database. It's the hub.
Makes sense. You need to organize those relationships.
And they make a really practical point. Don't try to do everything. Find 3 to 5 prospecting methods you actually enjoy and are good at.
Joy-based prospecting, they call it.
Yeah. If you like doing it, you're way more likely to stick with it consistently. Makes sense, right?
Totally. Then they outline the circles of opportunity model itself.
Which is basically a framework. Categorizing different ways to connect people you know, people you don't, referrals, specific methods like sign calls, farming areas, mail, online ads, networking, social media.
It's a big map of potential avenues.
Exactly. A comprehensive look at how you can expand your reach.
All right, next up. Scripts and dialogues. Now, I know scripts can make people cringe a little.
Yeah, it sounds robotic maybe.
But the module argues they're important for handling objections consistently, for good client service.
And their analogy is good. We all use scripts, right? How you answer the phone, standard greetings. We've just internalized them.
True, and they have a formula for using them effectively.
Yeah. Memorize the core message. Customize it to sound like you. Internalize it so it feels natural. Then capitalize on it. Use it.
So make it your own. Don't just read it.
Exactly. Authenticity is key.
They also mentioned the FORD technique for building rapport.
Simple but effective. Ask questions, listen actively about family, occupation, recreation, dreams.
Makes the conversation about the other person. Builds connection.
Right. And practice is key with scripts. Reverse them until they feel comfortable, natural.
Which leads right into having a dedicated prospecting schedule.
Yep. Time blocking specifically for those outreach activities. They suggest ideally about 3 hours a day.
3 hours. Wow.
Typically morning, like 9 to 12 maybe, and creating a distraction-free zone for it.
Mindset matters here too, right?
Absolutely. Positive energy, confidence, being authentic. It apparently makes a real difference in your results during prospecting.
And they break down that 3-hour block.
Into prepare, prospect, follow-up, hour 1, prep, mindset check, review scripts, organize lists, research who you're calling.
Get ready to go.
Hour 2, action. Make the calls, knock on doors, do the open house, whatever your methods are. Stick to the plan, take notes.
Then hour 3.
Follow-up. Crucial. Enter notes in the CRM immediately. Send those handwritten notes. Follow up on any hot leads right away.
Close the loop.
Exactly. And again, track your numbers during this time. How many calls led to how many appointments? Know your stats.
Understand the value of each contact.
Precisely.
Okay. And finally, the module wraps up with lead follow-up.
Reinforcing sending those note cards after conversations. And really hammering the importance of the CRM.
Use the system.
Enter leads immediately. Categorize them properly. Set up action plans so follow-up happens automatically, calls, emails, mailings. Don't let leads fall through the cracks.
Makes sense. And they circle back to the tools they mentioned, the GPS tools.
Yeah, the YMW planner, the accountability sheets, the perfect week, the scripts.
What's the overall point of these tools combined?
They argue it's about focus, giving you a clear picture of where you are, where you're going, promoting balance, helping you course correct, breaking down big goals, simplifying the whole process.
They use that analogy, driving at night with headlights.
Right. You don't see the whole trip at once. You just need enough light for the next bit of road. Focus on the immediate next steps.
Use the tools, do the daily activities consistently, and that builds momentum towards the big goals.
That's the idea. So yeah, to sum it all up, the core principles woven through this whole RevUp, week 1 are really about that success-oriented mindset.
Setting clear SMART goals.
And then implementing consistent action, backed up by good time management and accountability.
So that brings us to the end of this deep dive into RevUp week 1. And what's really striking, I think, is how universal these concepts are.
Totally. Mindset, planning, time management, consistent action. That stuff applies way beyond just real estate.
Absolutely. We really hope, you listening can take some time to reflect on these principles. How might they apply to your work, your life?
Yeah, think about specific ways you could maybe adopt more of that business owner mentality, or define your goals more clearly, or tighten up your time management.
And if you want to dig deeper, the module itself references some solid books, things like The One Thing for Focus.
Getting Things Done for Productivity.
Even the E-Myth are revisited for that entrepreneurial thinking. Good recommendation.
Definitely worth checking out. So maybe as you go about your day, just pick 1 or 2 of these ideas. How could you start implementing them, even in a small way, right now?
Because it's often those small, consistent steps, isn't it? That's what leads to the big results over time.